Hello, people of YouTube. My name is Steve Gray. Thank you for watching. Today we are talking about the Epiphone Jimi Hendrix Love Drop Flying V. Never thought I'd say those words. Really cool guitar. There was a Gibson model, I think, over 10 years ago, and good luck finding one of those things under $10,000. So this is $1,500, and there's going to be two things we're going to complain about with this. But let's go ahead, read this article, look at the actual specs, and then I'll go into the complaints and just kind of explain them. So here is the most innovative guitarist of all time. Influences woven into the very fabric of music history. Epiphone joins the forces of the Gibson Custom Shop for the adequate psychedelic Jimi Hendrix Love Drop Flying V. This is inspired by Gibson Custom Series Epiphone, is equipped with custom buckers, and is a thing of beauty based on Hendrix's hand-painted Flying V of the late 60s. Epiphone has unveiled the latest top-of-the-range electric guitar from its collaboration with the Gibson Custom Shop, and it is Jimi Hendrix Love Drop Flying V, ebony finish model, psychedelic floral graphics, with some serious firepower in the pickup department. We'll get to the pickups in a moment. First, the prominence of this instrument, a signature guitar, and seemingly came out of nowhere, and comes with the bless of the Hendrix family, who took a hand in the role of its development. As with the inspired by Gibson Custom Shop edition of Kurt Hammett's Greenie 1959 Les Paul Standard, this is a high-end Epiphone guitar that could stand side by side with their USA-made counterparts. And it even has a pair of custom buckers on the neck and bridge position, one of the finest Gibson USA pickups on the market. Under the hood, you have Mallory cap, CTS pot, switchcraft jack, and switches. All of what you might want in a guitar. So like the original late 60s Flying V that Hendrix played between 67 and 1969, its aesthetic is wholly in tune with the flower, power, zeitgeist of Woodstock, Monterey, and the Isle of Wight festivals where Hendrix redefined popular culture with his incredible playing. Hendrix's Gibson was originally a sunburst model refinished in ebony and ultimately decorated with his own artwork. Reproduced here, this Epiphone version nails the look, especially with that 67 style double-sided 3-ply white pickguard in black witch hat knobs, style control with silver reflectors. Even has a Mastero short vibrola and a Locktone two-pneumatic bridge with nylon saddles, and apparently Epiphone is offering the model for left-handed players too. So there you go, lefties, here you go. I know he technically played this thing backwards, but I mean, there you go. Lefty model, really good. So mahogany body. It is a gloss finish, thank God, because I'm sick of them making these things in the satin finish. Rounded C profile, medium jumbo frets, real mother of pearl inlays. Neck material is a one-piece mahogany Graph-Tech nut. Here's one of the issues, Laurel fretboard again. Nickel, you got the vibrola, dual action truss rod, Locktone, that's perfectly fine. Epiphone Deluxe with double ring keystone buttons, that's fine too. 67 pickguard, nylon saddles, which is period correct. You got the electronics, Gibson custom buckers, two CTS, so you got two volumes of master tone, CTS pots, Mallory caps, and then 10 gauge strings. This does come with a hard shell case, I believe, if I can find it in the pictures here. Yeah, so a nice hard shell case with a nice blue interior. So definitely doing the lefties good. Let's go ahead and do Jimi Hendrix Flying V Gibson and see what we can find here. Hendrix Flying V Gibson. And if we go to shopping, let's see how expensive one of those is. A real one, $15,000. So, yeah. There's one for $5,000 maybe? You got to keep in mind, we'll go ahead and go to Reverb and take a look at this thing. This might be one that someone bought. Yeah, Tribute. Okay, so this isn't the actual one. So this is somebody they commissioned to have somebody paint their guitar. So that is going to be a significant difference in price versus an actual one, where there's also a lot of fake ones on here too. Ridiculous amount of fake ones. Let's go and click on that one that I'm pretty confident is real. Let's see here. So, yeah, this one's in Japan. Yeah. So, does this one have it? What's the back of this one look like is what I'd like to know. Because the back of the Epiphone has absolutely nothing on it. Oh, I guess neither does this. So, neither does the actual Gibson one either. So, to my knowledge, the design here is simply like a silk screen. So it's kind of like what goes on your graphic t-shirt, if you will. You know, if you get the Les Paul logo on the majority of guitars is also a silk screen. And then usually they have a finish over the top of it. You know, it's very, very thin, like a wooden veneer, if you will. So no issues there. They did that for, I think it was, what was it, they had a George Harrison guitar. Maybe a Jimmy Page guitar. Fender did that for a couple of things, but we're talking Gibson here. In terms of price, I am curious how much their Flying Vs go for. So let's go ahead and see if we have a Flying V here. What am I going to have to search Flying V? All right, fine. Flying V. Why can't I scroll is my next question. All right, fine. Site wants to be a pain in the butt. Epiphone Flying V. Let's do shopping. All right, so there is a 649 model. It looks like brand new. Let's see if we can go to Sweetwater. Out of curiosity, let's go back and see if we can find Sweetwater. I don't want reverb. Here we go. Epiphone Flying V electric guitar, ebony. So, yeah. So here, $640. So, what are you getting for, what is that, more than double the price? Yeah, $650 plus $650 would be $1,300. Okay, so if their baseline Flying V, we're going to say is $650, what is it that you are actually getting? So, yes, you are getting the graphic, you are getting the vibrola, you are getting the hardshell case. You are getting the Gibson humbuckers. So let's just do the parts. So to my knowledge, I think a pair of Gibson custom buckers is like $300. Let's go ahead and look that up real quick. Custom buckers. Oh, I'm sorry. 400 and we're going to say we're just going to round down to 450. Just to make the math easier in my head. So let's assume the base price is $640. So let's add $450 for the pickup. So there is $1,100 right there. Then if you figure at least $150 for the case, you know, there's about $1,250. Then you got to add the vibrola on there and the special floral paint job going on there too. So let's add a couple more $100 and yeah. So, I mean, in terms of where Epiphone is pricing things right now, I would say with the additional electronics and everything, you know, design, bridge, they got the special nylon bridge on there too, which they're making, I don't know, I think they've used the nylon bridge for a couple of things in the past, but they're not using it on everything, let's put it that way. So, I mean, in terms of Epiphone price point, yeah, the $1,500 makes sense. However, we all know that a silk screen isn't going to cost them that much money. Those pickups definitely cost them nowhere near $450 to make. I mean, I did a couple of shorts. Literally what pickups are, I've explained it a million times. It's just wire. It's just a copper wire, couple of plastic bobbins, and a magnet. That's it. And in terms of raw material to actually make a pickup, you're talking maybe $40. If that, depending on the material, probably less than that, depending on where they're sourcing that material from. So, you know, it's not, realistically, it's costing them nowhere near $450 to make those pickups, but at the same time, that's what they're selling for. So, you know, you can't, I hate to put logic in there, but that is what they're selling for. Now, the fretboard being Indian Laurel also annoys a lot of people. So that is one thing where I do not understand. Every time they do one of these signatures models, that's like half the complaints. And you got $200 guitars with rosewood. Fender just went back to rosewood. Epiphone, Gibson need to follow suit and go back to rosewood. Because a lot of people complain about that. not having rosewood, especially on the expensive guitars. They could use rosewood on the premium ones, like exclusively. Like this one, sure, the 649 one, guess what? You're getting Indian Laurel. But the more expensive one, if you buy the Jimi Hendrix one, guess what? Or the Dave Grohl or the Greenie, let's put rosewood on all of those to make it a premium feature. It's not, but I could see them doing that, and that would make sense to me. Because then that would be one more reason to spend that extra money on that guitar, because you want rosewood on it as opposed to Indian Laurel. A lot of people are like, oh, it's like looks the same, but it is a lighter color, and it does have slightly different tonal properties. A lot of people are like, oh, the wood doesn't affect nothing. Yes, the wood does affect things. Wood definitely affects things. How much it affects it when you plug it into an amp and then crank the distortion, I might agree with you on that one, but the wood does affect the tone properties of the guitar. I'm not going to debate that too much, especially on acoustics. Not as much on electrics, but it still does. So price point, with what they're pricing things at right now, they're pretty much on par. I honestly, all of these new signature models, I would like to see just under $1,000. So, $999.99. They could definitely afford it. I can tell you that right now. They're not going to be losing money on that price point whatsoever. And a lot of the ones that have one-piece necks, like this is a solid ebony finish. There's no reason that anyone cares that this is a one-piece neck when you can't even see the thing. Now, the Greenie, on the other hand, you could argue that, oh, okay, I can see it. That's a cool extra feature. But on something like the Flying V, if you paint poly over it, it's not really going to seep into the seams, and no one is ever going to realize that neck is one piece unless they decide to strip the paint off of it, and no one is going to do that to a signature guitar. So that seems like a feature that is unnecessary on a solid guitar. I don't care if it has a scarf joint. I have guitars that are bolt-on neck. I have guitars that have a heel joint, a scarf joint, multiple pieces of neck. I've had neck through basses that have been like a 5-piece neck, so that does not really concern me. That's not the top of my priority list, if you will. But yeah, really cool guitar. If I see one, I'm definitely going to pick the thing up and play it. I don't think I've ever really fully experienced Gibson custom buckers before, to my knowledge anyway. So one of these days I got to pick up something with Gibson custom buckers in it and give it a whirl and see what the hub is about. I like wax potting pickups because the custom buckers are not wax potted. Some people like the squeal, some people don't. I'm one of the people that don't. So I would love to see a wax potted Gibson custom bucker. But I guess that's probably what like the 490R and 498TR and maybe some of the burst buckers are basically the same exact thing. I'm not 100% on that. But yeah, so as I said, price point, I would like to see these signatures guitars under $1,000. It's not going to happen, but that's what I would like to see. On the used market, once these things sell out and they stop making them, it wouldn't surprise me if you can get your money back. I don't know if you'll ever actually make more money than if you buy these things new. I don't know if you'll actually make a bunch of money on it, but I know for a fact they're going to hold value because it's a signature model. So the Greenie's going to hold value, Dave Grohl is going to hold value, this is going to hold value. Any signature model they come out with is going to hold value. So that's something that you can factor in if you're worried about buying an Epiphone versus a Gibson. You don't really have to worry about that, which is pretty nice. But as I said, there's no reason that they can't throw some rosewood boards on these things. I'm going to keep saying that until they do. Maybe they will finally switch to a rosewood fretboard. I don't know when or if, but I'm just going to keep bringing that up until they actually do the thing. So other than that, yeah, just hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, leave a like, share, comment, all that fun stuff. And as always, have a good one.